This video is designed to go over the lesson on time and even more specifically time and conversion of time. For example, how many days are in a week or how many weeks are in a month and so on. Today's goal, we're going to look at being able to change time from one unit of time to another. So some important time information. What I have on this slide is just a data file of all the different units of time. For example, 60 seconds equals a minute, 60 minutes in an hour. Those are some of the pretty common ones. Some ones you may not know: 52 weeks in a year, 365 days in one regular year, 366 days in one leap year, and finally 100 years equals 1 century. One that is not on here is 10 years equals a decade. So a key tip, just like with units of measurement, as far as feet to inches, yards to miles, it's important to remember that whenever you go from a larger unit of time to a smaller, you want to multiply. Okay, for example, if I'm converting from hours to minutes, that's larger to smaller, I'm going to multiply. And then finally, smaller to larger, you're going to divide. For example, if I'm going from seconds to hours, you would divide. So we're going to take a look at a couple problems here. So first of all, we have 24 months equals how many years? Okay, now it's important to remember how many months are in a year, and I know that there are 12 months in 1 year. So whenever we're converting, whenever we're going from months to years or years to months, we're always going to work with the number 12. And we need to figure out whether we're going to multiply or divide by that number 12. So we're going from months to years, so this is a smaller unit of measurement to a larger unit of measurement, so we're going to be dividing. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 24, and we're going to divide that by 12, and that equals 2. So I have 24 months equals 2 years. The next problem here, we have 600 seconds equals how many minutes? So we have 600 seconds, so we're going to convert that to minutes. So it's important to remember how many seconds are in a minute, and that's 60 seconds in 1 minute. So that means we're either going to multiply or divide by 60. So my next step, we're going from a smaller unit of measurement to a larger. So whenever you go from smaller to larger, what you're going to do, you're going to divide. Okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to take our 600 seconds and divide it by 60. Okay, now we know with this type of division problem, zeros can cancel each other out. And then we can just do a basic fact. 60 divided by 6 gives us 10. So 600 seconds equals 10 minutes. Now it's important to make sure your answer is making sense. If I were to multiply by 60, okay, I would get a really, really large number, which would not make sense because, you know, if you're converting something from seconds to minutes, your number will get smaller, okay, because it's a larger unit of time. So 600 seconds equals 10 minutes. Now we're going to take a look at a multi-step problem. We have 4 hours equals how many seconds? Now, unless you know how many seconds are in an hour, what we need to do first of all is we need to figure out how many seconds are in an hour through a multiplication problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 60, okay, because we know 60 minutes is in an hour, and we're going to multiply that by 60 because we know there's 60 seconds in a minute. Now we can set it up vertically like this, or we can even do it horizontally. I like to do it horizontally. 60 times 60. Erase that here. 60 times 60. And what we can do, we can just multiply 6 times 6. That gives me 36. And then add the 2 zeros at the end for 3,600. Now, that's how many seconds are in an hour. So what we'll do now is we're going to take that 3,600, and you can even do this on a calculator, 3,600, and we're going to multiply this by 4. So 4 times 0 is 4, 4 times 0 is 4, 4 times 6 is 24, put my 4 here, carry the 2. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. So we have 4 hours equals 14,400 seconds. Okay, we're going to do another problem now. 144 hours equals how many days? Okay, so what we're going to do, we need to figure out whether we're going from larger to smaller or smaller to larger. Okay, so we have hours in a day, so we're going to go from smaller to larger, and because of that we're going to divide. What are we going to divide by? We're going to divide by 24. Why are we going to divide by 24? Because there are 24 hours in one day. So what we do, we can set this up, we can even do this on the calculator. 144 divided by 24, and we'll multiply this 6. We'll do 24 times 6, 4, carry the 2. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 2 is 14. We have 0 for our remainder, so 144 hours equals 6 days. Okay, we're going to take a look at one last problem here, and this is another multi-step problem. So what we're doing is we're going from 5 hours and 20 minutes to seconds. We're going to convert that all to seconds. So obviously we know this is a larger to smaller unit of measurement, so we're going to be multiplying. Okay, so our multiplication sign there. Let me erase it. We're going to be multiplying there. Okay, so the first thing that we want to figure out, how many seconds are in 5 hours? Okay, so first of all, we need to figure out how many minutes are in an hour, which we know there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. Okay, so 60 minutes in an hour, there's 60 seconds in a minute, so you're going to multiply 60 times 60, just like the problem that we did before. 60 times 60, what we can do, we can take our basic fact, 6 times 6, that gives us 36. And then we have 2 zeros left over. We can tack those on at the end for 3,600. So there are 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. Now we're going to take that 3,600 and we're going to multiply that by 5, representing the 5 hours. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 0 is 0 again. 5 times 6 is 30. Put my 0 here. Carry my 3. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 3 is 8. So 18,000, that's how many seconds are in 5 hours. Now we need to figure out how many seconds are in 20 minutes. Okay, so we know there are 60 seconds in a minute. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to multiply 60 times 20. 60 times 20 here. 6 times 2 is 12. Tack on my 2 zeros. Let me rewrite that again. 1,200. Okay, so now we're going to take the 1,200 representing the 20 minutes and add it to our 18,000 representing the 5 hours, and I'm just going to rewrite that. 18,000. That represents the 5 hours plus 1,200. It's important to line up your place value here, 0 and 0, 0, then you can just add 2, 9 and 8 and 1 is 9, drop down my 1, so I have 19,200, so that means 5 hours, 20 minutes equals 19,200 seconds, and that is how you convert units of time within this lesson.